Hello, this is the review of episode 6, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10, the rusical, and the end of bracket 2. This is Pedro, and welcome to Beyond the Drag, where we dive into drag contests worldwide. So, this is the last episode of this bracket. For real, I had no idea on what to expect and how the MVQ points were going to be given. Right here, the one who first gives her point is Nicole, and she is giving it to Kerri. Kerri goes next, and surprisingly for me, she gives her MVQ point to Lydia. Now, makes sense the edit we had on those two talking that much on the last episode. Tina gives hers to Nicole, and finally Lydia gives her point to Kerri. So the one who didn't get any point was Tina, and she was robbed for me, honestly. We have seen that the ones who are in alliances here are everyone, instead Nicole and Tina. We move on to the workroom. We have the queens on the table, and to highlight, we have Tina spilling the tea and saying to Lydia, this is the tournament of champions, not the tournament of alliances. Next, we have untucked footage, and right here, a lot of stuff had been said, and basically we have mistress lying and gaslighting Tina. Tina is upset because of Lydia, and the alarm goes off. From just here, honestly, I don't even know what to comment. For sure, I do think mistress is the one who opened the Pandora's box on this storytelling the production accepted. But as I said in the last submission, this already feels really forced. How she is playing in this bracket along now with Lydia and Jorgeous. I gotta say, I truly appreciate V-lines, messy queens, and when it's genuine, it's really good to see. But when literally every action you do comes from the intention to give quote unquote TV, and the production is buying that, that's a recipe for trash TV. The queens can be who they want to be in the show. The problem is what is the production gonna do with that? And from this idea, I want to remark that the results on the top last episode and this one were totally biased by that. By the storytelling the production accepted to receive from Mistress, but let's now go back and continue with the thesis later. As you know, this episode is the rusical inspired on the Star Booty movie from RuPaul, which I didn't know honestly. The one doing the choreo for them is Adam Shankman. So when the queens check the roles, Mistress wants so bad to be in the villains group. While the queens are rehearsing, we have a pretty crazy edit in my opinion. The ones who seem have good feedback with the singing is Nicole, Jorgeous. The ones who had a safe edit were Tina, Kerri, Lydia, and the one who had the worst edit was Mistress. So the edit overall starts to play with us like a roller coaster. We just had Mistress in the top 2 on the last episode, and now they are planting the seed that she could do really wrong, which spoiler, she didn't. But the edit sold it like that. This is just in the singing part. Now, this doesn't mean she's not being favored. She was favored in the last episode. Each possibility can coexist. Moving on, the choreo, the one who has a good edit is Jorgeous. Not surprised. The ones who did bad is Mistress, Lydia, Tina, Nicole, and Kerri. So basically everyone. And on the elimination day, the Tina versus Mistress drama keeps going. Mistress keeps selling the character at 100%. We have Jorgeous in the confessional saying, this is a game and it's not that serious, which as well opens a conversation and a debate. Is that true? I can elaborate on this further, but at first, I don't think this is just a simple game. Literally, you can get paid more by being more episodes here, so I think that. Now, the runway. Okay, I do like RuPaul on this. This is different, I feel, but am I the only one who thought about a tablecloth? I mean, it's fine, but yeah, I just saw that regardless, the texture looks really expensive, and that's what I can say about this look. Now, Right next, we have the maxi challenge, but I'm going to move on to the runway and do my observations on the maxi challenge afterwards. Starting from my bottom to my top, my system score is 0 meaning worst and 5 meaning perfection. Category is Wild Wild West. Sixth place, I have Nicole with a 3. This look was really campy. I truly like it. I think she's serving the category, and I feel that the colors and accessories themselves were good. As well, the wig, everything works. But for a look like this, I think she needed to give us a twist, something that can be memorable, because that's what I feel when it comes to these types of campy looks. We have to remark that even though I think this could be better, she is giving versatility. Through all the competition, we have seen her in different styles, really pageant, funny, and high fashion. So, as Mistress was praised by her cactus look last episode, I think Nicole has to be praised by the versatility she's delivering this season. Fifth place, I have Jorgeous with 3.5. This is really pretty. It works really well. I think it's something pretty different for her, and I want to say that she also has been giving some versatility throughout the competition. I like all the construction of the body as well, that there was no miss on the borders of this outfit. Every element was really well thought, but I feel it was too safe. I think she didn't elevate the look that much, and it looks really good, but it's just like copying the aesthetic of a look like that and not giving something that will make the look memorable in a drag point of view. Fourth place, I have Mistress with a 4.5. This is what I love about Mistress. I don't think she really needs to change that much her aesthetic. For me, the cactus was not the best look. And if the judges really wanted to praise her by giving something different, I think this is the look. This one is pretty fierce for her. She really understands her branding, her fashion taste. I love the cowboy hat, all the vision of the look. Her silhouette is gorgeous. I think it just needed something more. Maybe she would have had it with a lasso and playing gracefully with it, and maybe a better execution on the color of the skin illusion on her legs. And if I'm picky, I just feel the wig looks kinda cheap. I don't know if it's me, but even though it has some volume, I feel she could use a different one. Now, third place, Kerri Colby with a 4.8. I really appreciate the high fashion concept, the vision she was going forward with. The body itself is something that is difficult to execute. She has this non-typical pattern in it, pretty experimental. The flatter pants were a good option. Again, I understand the aesthetic route. I really like how her silhouette still pops out. The only detail that I saw was the hat. I think it was not the best execution. I understand that it had to be big and it had to serve the category, but I think it could be better. As we heard on the critiques, I felt it was maybe too squarish, but again, just a really good look, difficult to execute, and just really well done. Now, in a tie second, first place, I have Lydia and Tina with a 5. First, Lydia. Camp, irreverent, alternative, Lydia's brand, fashion, Orville Peck, just beautiful. There's no miss. I truly love the construction of all the body, how she has through the legs and the torso area these cutouts. I love she was doing the runway with a lasso. The big pads she has in her legs gives the look an alternative touch and fresh. It's really difficult to execute a design like that and to look this cohesive. And yeah, she bring totally the category. The hat was really well constructed, just beautiful, and kudos to her because she has truly elevated a lot her aesthetic, her vision, her branding. It feels that she has matured a lot, and I'm just impressed by that. I repeat it, in a tie, second, first place, Lydia and Tina with a 5. Now, Tina, elevated, high fashion, difficult to execute a look like this with only 2 colors, truly beautiful. The construction of the sleeves, the boots, the corset, this experimental lasso structure on her body. The wig was the best choice. I truly love how it looks, the black hair on her. The accessories were on point. I liked there was not truly big accessories because it was not necessary. As well, there was not necessary to put shiny rhinestones on it. It truly looks elevated how it is. And yeah, again, as I have said in last emissions, Tina has really grown up a lot in a fashion sense since we saw that insane work she did on the Sewen challenge. I'm really happy for her. Now, we move on to the maxi challenge, and I'm just doing a general review. Just want to say straight away that I didn't I didn't really enjoy this maxi challenge, and it's just a weird challenge to judge cuz there's people who I think the choreo favored them most and other ones who didn't. Just starting, we have Nicole having a heavy choreo, Tina an easy and not memorable choreo, and Kerri having a difficult choreo. So from here, obviously the one who doesn't stand the most from that POV is Tina, which in my observations, she was the lowest one from this group. But again, I just want to highlight this and bring this perspective, okay? Going for what they did on the stage, Tina is a 3 for me, Nicole is a 4, and Kerri is a 4.5. When we have this moment of Ru being on the phone, the ones who has more lines are Nicole and Kerri, so they are the most memorable right here. Moving on to the second group, something that surprised me right away were the looks. As I understand, these looks are made by the production, and the three of them were really cohesive and memorable. They were serving truly what a group is. Each one of them have their lines, and I think they were doing good. On the choreo, I think it was well made by everyone. I think as well Mistress did well. She is the first one having their solo, and I think it was memorable. But as Tina's situation, she is the one who has less actual choreo. Lydia has a more difficult choreo, and when it comes to Jorgeous, well, obviously is the hardest one of everyone. And for me, Jorgeous goes with 4.5, Mistress 4, and Lydia 3.5. Next, we have this moment on them doing the dance battle. In general, it was pretty stupid and campy. This was my favorite part of the Maxi Challenge. The climax of the Maxi Challenge comes, and we have some lines here, and that's it. So, my top right here were Jorgeous and Kerri. Now, on a general view on the critiques, I think overall the queens received good critiques. On Tina, specifically from Adam, we had really positive critiques, but Michelle says that she lost her because some people stood out more. This is what I said about the choreo, how it really didn't work on her favor. Mistress has negative observations on her choreo as well, and it's the same. It's the same situation. On the deliberation, Nicole was praised. Again, Adam stands out that she was the MVQ for him. Michelle praises Kerri. I agree with Ru, surprisingly, saying that it didn't care if Mistress' hands were not really extended because we were enjoying her acting. Which again, what is going on? This panel of judges. Nicole was praised by not being her forte, but on Mistress, they are criticizing that. And on Lydia and Jorgeous are praised by their choreo, which I agree, but Lydia was not memorable for me. So from here, we can understand Tina, Mistress were not favored, but everyone else did good, which totally follows a storyline that started since the beginning of episode 2, and please bear with me. As you know, the top 2, Jorgeous and Lydia. And just as Lydia said, holy shit. Again, I do agree with Jorgeous being here, but Lydia, even though the choreo was like difficult, she was not memorable, I insist. When the queens go to the back of the stage and we enter to the ordeal moment of this story, Nicole asks to Tina if she wants to keep Mistress out of the top. And for anyone who says this is just a game, I just want you to picture to picture in your mind Mistress' expression through all this time and how for real everyone else is on butter. We have the lip sync, and I think both did really good. I agree on Georgia's winning, and I agree with her being one who passes to the next round. And I do agree with Lydia. I have not said this in a past emission, but I have my own table on Notion where I have the queens ranking, and if I do the sum of points through all the season, my third place is Jorgeous, my second place is Lydia, and my first place is Tina. Tina was robbed on the last maxi challenge, and from the moment Mistress received that half point is when she was going to be saved no matter what. Literally and mathematically. Because in which scenario will Mistress give their point to someone who was in the bottom? The queens decide to go by giving their point to Kerri, which for this maxi challenge, again, I agree. As I said, Kerri was a top for me. Nicole and Tina gives their point to Kerri, Kerri to Tina, and Mistress to Lydia. And I insist, up to this moment, Mistress still looks frightened, which just totally vanishes her character. And it's just singular to see her true colors. And as I said, it was impossible to beat up that half point. Now, what does these results means for the future of the season? To be clear and direct, Mistress didn't deserve the top 2 last episode, and she didn't deserve that half point. I think you don't need to be a Sherlock Holmes to to figure it out that the lip sync was not an Evie Oddly versus Brooklyn Heights. From that moment, Tina was robbed, and the judges' critiques were totally out of track, praising the people who served less lyrics in a rap challenge, and brainwashing the viewer by putting Nicole on that top 3, so that in this case, when the viewer saw Nicole, Mistress, and Jorgeous on that top 3, was easy to germinate the idea that Mistress and Jorgeous are top 2. Because again, Tina was not there. And from those results, was obvious for me that she was now favored by the production, and the only reason is because Mistress delivered one of the most important maxi challenges, exactly what the production wanted to make cheap storytelling. And at the end, they know what they do. As I understand, this bracket has been more enjoyable than the first one by the general Drag Race fandom. And now, I want to add here how there's another reality show that has followed the same path and whose bubble has popped by the general viewer. Either the viewer who just wants to see TV and the viewer who wants to see the talent. And that's La Más Draga. Without saying spoilers, in their first All Stars, which is the last season they have premiered, they had these non-consistent and not current critiques overall. There was this category on the runway episode 5 that was called La Más del Toro, which was referencing to the Mexican director Guillermo del Toro, and they had to present a look doing a reference to one of his creations. There was this drag queen that was referencing the movie The Book of Life, and her outfit was just perfection, 100%. Literally no words, just perfection. And even though she was the bottom that episode, because allegedly the judges were saying that was not spooky, and Guillermo's works has to be spooky, even though the fucking movie from Guillermo was not. All the general fandom of La Más Draga was just not buying it when this happened. And just lost total trust to the judges. This is what I feel now with this bracket and the results, because we have fresh history on lack of credibility since in season 17. Lana and Corey were saved on a lip sync where they lost their wigs, and literally that was the first time that happened in Drag Race history. Having this in consideration, I can expect the season will have more moments like this, but if they are intelligent enough, I think they will follow the same formula they have done, giving some preferences to some villains we have seen through the seasons, but if they are actually giving it every single time as it should, they can win like Bianca did. But for real, I think this season that's not happening. I insist. I think we can expect more mess and questionable results because I feel this is a route Drag Race is following more. And for sure, it opens a conversation, it opens a debate on what Drag Race should do now and what are truly Drag Race intentions right now. And that was my thesis on Mistress Power. Tell me, please, your thoughts. What do you think in general about this bracket? Mistress deserved to be in the top three. Tina deserved it. Mistress deserved that half point. Tell me, what do you think? But yeah, that was everything for this emission. This was Pedro, and see you on the next one. Bye.